After a delay of a little more than a week, SpaceX's Starship-Super Heavy rocket thundered off the pad at 5:51 p.m. Central Time on July 24th. The 13th integrated test flight for the program got off to a better start than the previous mission. All 33 Raptor engines on Booster 20 powered the rocket through the first several minutes of flight. And unlike Starship Flight 12, when the booster was pushed 90 degrees off from its target separation,
6 ignite.
Burn startup.
The change in engine startup on Ship 40 proved a successful fix. But while SpaceX seemed to get off to a good start with the boost back burn, minutes later,
Startup.
Booster 20 ran into some additional engine challenges, with not all of the 13 center engines igniting as intended. The 72-meter tall booster splashing down in the Gulf of Mexico harder than expected.
Just looking at the booster real quick, it didn't look like we lit all 13 engines that we were planning for that initial landing burn. We were targeting a softer splashdown, and as you saw, it came in with quite a bit of velocity still. So landing velocity did look a little bit high, but really cool to make it all the way back this time to that landing burn. We'll dig in, figure out how to turn on all those engines.
In a post-flight statement on its website, SpaceX said, quote, "The booster successfully completed the high-thrust portion of the boost-back burn with all 33 engines, the first time with a Super Heavy V3, before ending the burn early. It attempted to relight its engines for the landing burn, with a subset successfully igniting before experiencing a hard splashdown in the Gulf. This engine anomaly in flight came after SpaceX had to abort a launch attempt on July 16th due to an issue with the aux turbopumps, as explained by SpaceX's Dan Hewitt.
So 4 of Super Heavy's 33 Raptor engines aborted at startup due to issues with their aux turbopumps. Those rapidly pressurize and feed liquid oxygen into the engine for combustion. For those of you that like to pay real close attention to the on-screen telemetry, you saw this at T0 during that first attempt. We command the engines to start up simultaneously. You get some slight differences as the engine adapts in real time, but you saw 4 not light up. So 4 out of 33, what exactly happened? We have a launch constraint built in where we can only be down 2 Raptor engines at liftoff, so the vehicle detected more than that were out, automatically aborted before the final T0 safely shut down all of the engines that started up. We dug through the data, and what we saw was some off-nominal spin response in the aux turbo pumps on 6 of the engines. So the most likely root cause was determined. We were collecting some moisture inside of the pumps from previous operations, which then froze when we introduced that cryogenic propellant, and that either slowed those pumps down or stopped them completely from spinning. So for this next flight attempt, we swapped in 6 engines that were already at Starbase, and we did a test back on Wednesday that allowed us to check out the newly installed engines and spin the aux pumps on all 33 after they were chilled, check out their performance before we got into another launch attempt. We pulled a bunch of those engines off, as we said. We tested one on a test stand up at McGregor, helped screen for any other issues that might be hiding, and that one was actually able to do a full booster ascent burn. So got us in a good position for today.
Meanwhile, with Ship 40, all 6 of its Raptor engines performed their first burn without issue, sending the 52-meter tall upper stage onto its planned suborbital trajectory.
And engine shutdown.
During Flight 12, Starlink simulator satellites were able to capture the first third-person proximity views of a ship during its coast phase.
And there you go. You can see our first Starlink V3 getting deployed out of Starship.
SpaceX upped the ante with Flight 13, deploying 20 production Starlink version 3 satellites from the rocket's so-called PEZ dispenser for the very first time. While there were no third-person views this time around, the lights of the Starlink satellites and their thrusters could be spotted as they moved around the vehicle to capture imagery of the heat shield. SpaceX's Michael Nichols confirmed on social media that the Starlink team, quote, successfully communicated with all SATs using RF and laser links and been able to download telemetry. Ticking another box that was left open from Flight 12,
Relight demo startup.
SpaceX was able to relight one of the Raptor engines nearly 39 minutes into the mission. In its post-flight write-up, SpaceX called this a, quote, core capability for future orbital missions.
You see relight there on your screen.
Wow.
and confirmation over the net. Relight shutdown. The burn has ended. Congrats to the team on this milestone. I mean, it's crazy to see how we can maneuver in space, and just another icing on the cake for today's mission.
After streaking back through the atmosphere, onboard cameras and drones in the Indian Ocean caught Ship 40 as it made its landing burn and a uniquely soft splashdown.
Starship descending into the Indian Ocean, down to 1. And we're in the water.
The landing was so gentle, in fact, that SpaceX was still able to receive onboard camera views and telemetry data from the vehicle.
It is sending these via Starlink from the other side of the world while it is floating in the water after flying through space. Like, this is just completely surreal right now.
The intact ship also allowed for ample viewing of the heat shield, a critical component for future ship reuse. SpaceX previously stated that their goal is to reach orbit with Starship before the end of the year, with President Gwen Shotwell saying to CNBC that it might happen as soon as Flight 14. In a social media post, SpaceX founder Elon Musk furthering the possibility by stating, quote, "Unless we discover problems after mission data review, SpaceX will attempt to catch the ship with the tower on the next flight."
With the ship, it takes a bit longer because it's got to orbit Earth a few times until the ground track comes back over the launch pad. But the ship is also intended to be reflown multiple times per day.
Orbital flights are critical not only for SpaceX's business ambitions, but also for its obligations to NASA's Artemis program. A slightly modified Starship version 3 is scheduled to dock with NASA's Orion spacecraft on the Artemis 3 mission next year. SpaceX is also developing the human landing system version of Starship that will be used on future lunar landings.
For SpaceX, they are building their first engineering model of the crew cabin. So it is building off of engineering drawings. It's of similar construction standards as from Flight, and it will be a full crew cabin, including the ecosystem and any crew cabin, crew quarters, crew interface, and the like. So it's going to be really pretty good, and that has begun at Boca Chica.
The agency is expecting SpaceX to complete an on-orbit propellant transfer demonstration also this year, which would involve back-to-back Starship launches. The capability is needed for future deep space missions with Starship. A report on NASA missions from the U.S. Government Accountability Office noted that SpaceX is more than a year behind scheduled key events. Those include the long-duration and propellant transfer demonstrations and the critical design review for the human landing system version of Starship that will be used for moon landings. But with a lot of good data captured on this mission, time will tell if the next flight for SpaceX will involve sending Starship to orbit for the first time. Reporting for Spaceflight Now,
Lucky number 13.
I'm Will Robinson Smith.
Hell of a flight for Starship. Get it all the way there in the water. Really great day for version 3.